This one is for the all-weather fire starting journal. This one is a bonus because I very quickly achieved my first goal, which was to test a ferro rod on river grass. And then my second goal was to get an idea of timing as far as collecting skinny sticks versus feather sticking. I shot both those videos very quickly and I had a little bit of time left. And I realized one thing on my mind was as I'm collecting, I keep seeing the inner bark of quaking aspen, like you see right here in the video. Even in the wettest conditions, I pull it off of a dead or dying tree and it's bone dry in there. So I was wondering if I can get it started with a ferro rod. And I found that, yes, you can get it started with a ferro rod, but it's really more like a ember extender type of tinder than a flash or flame tinder. So the light snow turned into a heavy snow. You can see I'm covered in snow here. And I found a couple of times I got a little like birthday candle size flame that went out after 1 or 2 seconds. But the whole time it was smoldering. So although I failed to get a fire started with this method, I realized that I have to approach it differently. I have to approach this as an ember extender. So the next time I come out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect a very large bird's nest of this material, like maybe the size of like bigger than a grapefruit, maybe the size of like a basketball, almost the size of a basketball. Here you can see I've covered it with another piece of bark and it's smoldering on its own. And what that does is you give it time to dry out the material around it. And then if you blow on it, it will eventually go into flame. I got a piece of nylon rope here and I was going to try and ignite the nylon rope with the ember by blowing on it, and I failed to do so. But you can see here a couple of times that the aspen bark flames up, and it's got a pretty good flame. And if I'd had a nice big bird's nest of this material, I would have gotten a nice active flame. Normally, I always carry at least one Bic lighter. In this area, I always have access to birch bark. It's plentiful, but I'm concerned about the scenario. I'm becoming too dependent on birch bark for fire lighting. So what else could I make a fire with that I'm familiar with? This video is part of a playlist that I'm calling the All-Weather Survival Fire Starting Journal. And what I'm doing is I'm recording things like the humidity, the temperature, the weather conditions. I wait for days where the weather is really bad, and then I get out and I try and make fires with the skills I have.